Hello everyone, welcome in today. So today I'm going to do a reading for you around water. So this is going to be a message from the earthly bodies of water, seas, ocean, lakes, rivers, reservoirs, those kind of things. I got inspired to do this reading because I literally just finished watching the new Avatar and it was focused on water, the way of the waters. Really good. I recommend it. If you did enjoy the first one, I feel like you'll enjoy this one. It is a long movie, but it's worthwhile, right? Okay, so let's get your 3 paths. Okay. All right, they're popping out. Okay, so let's take a look at your cards today. So for pile number 1, you have the Malachite with pain relief, transformation, vision, powerful protection. For pile number 2, you have fire, passionate creation, travel, and courage. Okay. And for pile number 3, you have Citrine with wealth, enhanced career prospects, self-esteem, and manifestation. Alright, so these will be your 3 piles for today. Remember, this is a message from water, like a message from the element of water. Even though we have a little fire here, still element from water. So what I'll do is I'll leave you here to pick your piles. There will be a description down below and you can jump straight to your reading. Otherwise, take care of yourself and I'll see you in your reading. Hello there, pile number 1. Welcome to your reading today. So you've chosen Malachite with pain relief, transformation, vision, and powerful protection. So this is a message from water, the elements of water. So I've got a few water themed decks today. This is the Sea, I think it's called. What is it called? Sacred Sea Oracle. That's the name. So we'll pick a couple of cards from here as well. Yeah, I'm feeling these two. And this one here is Water Temple Oracle. Okay, you want to come out. Oh, okay, we've got 2 here. All right. And I think I'm just going to take 1 from here for now. Okay. So can we get a message from water buddies, please? Okay. All right, let's take a look at your reading. We'll start with your oracle cards and then I'll get on to your tarot. I'm going to read these all upright. Some of them might come through reversed. It's just because I haven't flipped them all. I might just move this one here. Okay, so you have the snake with transformation. Interesting too, this looks like water element. Sometimes these cards have, well, they all do. They all have 5 elements, the usual earth, fire, air, and water. And they also have ether, or I think they call it spirit in this deck. But this one looks like water and transformation, which is interesting because you have transformation in your Malachite as well. So already starting to get a few hints of what this may be about. You have the sacred spring with vitality. I dance towards the light. Out from the depths into the light. I feel like this has been a road. This has been a road for you. Yep. You also have Goddess Solace with Clarity, I am a visionary. This is interesting. I'm already going to start talking to a little bit because she has scars on her face from the challenges that she's been through. And so this really does kind of come through with like, you have gone through many things. But she's got to a point where she's proud of who she is. Even though she's been through so many challenges, she's still she may not like love what happened, right? But you can't change the past. So she's accepted what has happened as what's happened, or accepted the past as the past, and wears her scars with pride. Okay, interesting. All right. You also have the Sea Goddess of Momentum, Consistent Communication. Okay, cool. You also have Ocean Oracle with Cultivate Creativity. You're kind of getting that a bit here too with this transformation. I dance towards the light and I'm a visionary. Visionaries generally have like ideas and things they want to share with the world, right? So it's like that's coming through as well. I'll keep going before I get too caught into this. We'll take a look at your tarot cards as well. So you have the Ace of Pentacles. You have the Two of Cups. You have the Five of Wands. You also have the Hermit card. Okay, so let me just take a minute to connect with this. I mean, from the beginning of the reading, even before I started pulling cards, this pain relief and transformation, but also vision with the clarity, it's just like there was like a challenge that you've been through, or maybe you've just started to reflect on life, right? It's like, wow, life was hard during X time, Y time, whatever, that kind of thing. Might be working towards seeing the silver lining in some of the challenges, focusing on certain aspects of the past as well. The water is like obviously an emotional kind of feeling card, but I feel like this is like afterwards and kind of understanding the gaining the knowledge or learning from what you've already been through, not what you're going to go through. Because if you can learn from the challenges of the past, you don't have to repeat them, right? And it's not like you would have to anyway, but you don't have to go through something to teach or relearn a lesson. This is an opportunity to reflect and know that you're always on a path of your own growth, your own development, also service to others, you know, whatever that is. It's like the light is what is a beacon. It's wherever you're heading to. So it feels like a time of not just transformation, but understanding, starting to have certain things click in where a horrible situation might have stunted you. This is starting to move forward, not sit in your own pain almost, it feels. There is something you have to show and offer, I feel here. There's two sides to this. I feel like there's an aspect of wanting to, you know, face it head on, and also an aspect of wanting to know when it's right. This is going to be up to you, really, with these two, the Five of Wands and the Hermit coming through, because there's like one side you don't want to, you know, stay away too much. Also a side of you maybe wants to kind of like hibernate, let's say, a little bit. And then on the other hand, you don't want to just rush into things, but you also want to face the challenge. So make sure that you trust your own intuition, I would say, with this. For some of you, it's going to be either or. Maybe you need to take a step back just to like reflect and get the information that you know. If you've already done a lot of that and you've started to be clear, consistent is very like true. It feels like it's like sticking to your story, sticking to what's happened, being honest and truthful with yourself and others. And I love the greens flicking through here. So it's like part of this energy is still here, and it's not like you're going to let go of everything that's happened in the past. You're not meant to. not meant to just let it go and be like, sunshine and rainbows. Sometimes there's a good way, but not all the time, right? It's always a blend or a mix. Sometimes it's okay to like eat more of something, and then sometimes it's not. It's not always just like, yes, that's always good to do that, or no, that's never good to do that. It depends. We need to get out of this black and white view of things. Sometimes you can do little bits of other things. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, let's just put it in a term of that might make sense. If, let's say in the past something horrible happened, and so you wanted to lock it away, and you have kind of like built walls to ensure that you're safe. And then further in the future, you still have those walls, but they're keeping you isolated or something like that. It's a time to like break through, but you don't bust it all down straight away. You don't go full ball straight in, because that can open up new wounds or create a dramatic or dangerous kind of situation or drastic situation or change you completely. You don't have to like be one or the other. You can slowly work at things and slowly change over time, because that's exactly what we do. We don't go from, born to like 80 something years old. You know what I mean? Like 1 to 80. We go through all those little steps every single day of slowly growing older, learning every day, dealing with different people, eating different food, all sorts of like really physical human kind of things. And I feel like this is coming through with your emotional side, but it also touches on your outside world as well. There is something you want to do with this card. It doesn't have to be huge, doesn't have to be small either. It's just whatever you want. There's an interesting arm. I don't know what it is. Looks like a bear paw or something like that, but it looks too little. But anyway, I don't think that matters too much. It's just caught my eye. It does kind of feel like taking it slow going forward. This is the earthly card. Earth doesn't move super quickly, but that's okay. Just take your time. Take your time with whatever this is. Be honest with you and clear with your communication. Is it something you want to begin, like on the outside? Is it some kind of new feeling you want to start introducing? Is it, going back into the dating pool? Or is it even just trying to move on from something that occurred in the past with another person, a loved one, or a romantic partner, someone like that? Because these are still open. There's opportunities. Nothing ever is done until like it's done, right, in this life. Once we've finished this incarnation, then it's done. That incarnation's done. So if you're still here and you're watching this, it's not done. So you can close the door on some stuff if you really want to, but if you are doing it out of like old habits or old worries of being hurt, then you don't have to do that. Don't have to rush in. You also don't have to isolate. It's like, find your blend. Find the blend that works for you. This is not a time of like, okay, instead of you have to go left or right. Go left, have a look, come back. Go right, have a look, come back. Decide. Maybe you just turn all the way back and then find a new path. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be so black and white. I don't know if you're necessarily thinking like that, but the message just really wants to come through to be more open, because you're a visionary and clarity is coming through, learning from the lessons, the difficulties, that kind of thing, coming back into the light in a sense. Whether that's for you, for others, or both, or all. I feel like if we take care of ourselves, we're much better suited to helping others, even if we don't physically go out there. If we're, embodying happiness, healthiness, just good energy, doesn't mean we're always happy. It's just trying to focus on what's true right now. The past is the past. That's kind of just flicking in again. But with vitality, vitality always feels like, not so much endurance, but when we, you know how the Shaolin monks like punch the sand or whatever, the beans or whatever it is, they're like hitting. They get like callous. It builds up like armor, right? So they get, they can endure longer periods of punching the beans or whatever. I don't know what they're punching, but they're punching like stuff that would probably really, really hurt if you weren't like constantly doing it. It's kind of like muscles, building stronger muscles. You have to keep going to the gym to bigger muscles. Sometimes not always just bigger, but like stronger too, because it breaks them. They have to reform, breaks, all that kind of thing. So it gets tougher and tougher and stronger and more sinewy, I guess. Anyway, so that's kind of how this is feeling. It's like you didn't go through something to break you, you went through something to make you stronger, to help you be stronger. So sometimes if it's physical, that takes a mental toll as well. Sometimes it's mental, that also takes a physical toll as well on our body. So we're all interconnected in everything. We're not just mind, body, spirit. It's all in one. It's all a whole package. And it's probably more than that anyway. It's like other things as well, connected to the earth and everything like that. The water wants you to feel. I feel your emotions, see yourself as someone who has something to offer. You don't have to invent the wheel or like something new that takes over the world. It's just doing something that's outside of your normal, maybe incarnation loop in a sense. Something that's going to give you pleasure, that's going to help you shine. That's really, really strongly coming through. It doesn't have to be a battle. The Five of Wands has to be done sometimes to get to the end or to get through a situation. And even here, it can be just competition on certain things. Sometimes that's okay. Sometimes we have to compete with ourselves. Our mind has to compete with our body. You know, we want to do something, but our mind's like, what if this happens? What if this happens? You're like, oh yeah. And so we stay safe. And that's like, we call it like ego, or say it's like a negative thing. Sometimes, you know, the mind's just trying to like go, hey, look, you're safe here. Let's just sit here until something happens and then we'll respond. So it's not like a bad thing. It's a safety thing. But then we also want to challenge ourselves in some ways a little bit more. When we're, you know, and if we have choices on that, we can make those choices if we choose to. This wants you to be in an environment and around people that really not just cultivate your creativity, but give you some kind of energy. I don't know how to word it. It's like going out. I mean, we're talking about lakes, rivers, all that kind of thing with the water. So maybe you need to be around some kind of body of water. Visit the ocean if you can. Be around a stream and just see like the insects and the you know, the plant life that grows there. It's so different to land, right? There's mosses and algae and that kind of thing, which need to reproduce with water. They can't just, they haven't got the, you know, they don't have seeds or pollen or that kind of thing, or fruiting, those kind of pine cones and those kind of things. You know, they don't really have that, so they have to rely on staying wet essentially. That's just kind of coming through. It's like just being in that environment, maybe even walking past a river, along a river, or just on the way to work, you know, something like that. I feel like you can really touch into that energy of the oceans, of the rivers. It helps to just calm things down or organize slightly. Sometimes when we stop, that's when we can see everything, right? Because sometimes when we're moving, there's all this other stuff going along with us. We're like, okay, we're ahead of it, so it's all behind, it's following, but I can't see it. And then we stop, and then we see everything just all around us. And that's when it's like, okay, well, you're not needed anymore, this portion. Okay, I need to deal with you now. You know, whatever, you organize it in your own mind the way that you feel is correct for you. I just want to get a little bit more information, but I'm trying to see what that information is. I feel like we've kind of touched on the transformation. Transformation does feel like, with the snake, that transformation is a constant. There's not a one big transformation, like, you know, one big awakening, let's say. There's multiple transformations. There's multiple awakenings through life in different areas in different ways. Okay, so cultivating creativity. There's something there that wants to come through. So I'm just going to ask, what is the Ocean Oracle really wanting to bring through as well? It's like an extra piece in regards to this. Okay. Interesting. It really feels like service. Where do you need to go to learn, and also what can you teach? There's like a give and take here with the Six of Pentacles, which is all about, you know, give and take, ebbs and flows. Keeping the energy cycle going. Okay, very nice. So we've got the 9 of Cups as well. I do like the Hierophant here because for some, I feel like this is starting to break outside of the mold that you live in. Sometimes it's your mold, sometimes it's like other people's perception of you. And if you take on that, you become that, right? You start to build it like, it's like, oh yeah, I am this. And then you build that. But you have something, you've been through the things you've been through in your life, right? With the clarity here and the transformation, pain relief, like all the stuff. You know, reach out to the people that you really need to connect with, because this will help you get to the goals you want to. 9 of Cups is about dreams coming true, getting to the end of a, you know, getting very close to the end of a cycle. And then these 2 here, it really does feel like, you know, if you're giving, make sure you're getting too. And if you're getting, make sure you're giving. Keep that flow. You don't have to give exactly the same. It's not a currency. It's not like 50 cents and they have to give you 50 cents later. It's not like that. It's more like, what can I give and what can I receive? I wouldn't see it too much like that. But, you know, like even giving to homeless people or something like that will help you feel good about a certain thing. I don't know, whatever that is. Certain, you know, it's just like, I don't really know. It's really hard to kind of explain the gift of giving. Do you know what I mean? Just that feeling of appreciation and gratitude, or just seeing people be able to do something with something that you might have not really even thought of. Like we can go buy a certain item or food or something, and someone doesn't already have that, always have that. I'm not saying you need to go do that specifically, but there is something here that you want to start to create or add into your life that gives you something back, in a sense. I know I said something a million times, but it's just, it's coming from you. I can't really speak to what that is exactly. It's coming from you. What that looks like, is it artwork, is it creating like in a hobby, or is it doing something different at work? Whatever that is, it's okay. Give yourself some space and time. Chat to the people that are going to be supportive and help you with whatever this is. If it's something big, then, you know, communicate very specifically what that is. You don't have to worry about all the other things that could be. Focus on exactly what you want at the core, and then start to create that, and then worry about the rest. That's kind of how it feels. Normally I'm like, oh no, plan everything. That's me personally, but this energy feels like just get the core values together and start to spread from there around in certain areas, because then you'll be guided to this area or this area or this area. You know, it'll all come through in time. You might be doing something here 1 year, let's say, and then jump over here, and you've learned something here that's going to help here, and it doesn't make sense logically, but it makes perfect sense, you know, through your life path. Okay, interesting one, pile number 1. So hopefully that helps you. This is a message from Waters. Let me know if you have any questions down in the comments below. Otherwise, I hope you've enjoyed. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in your next reading. Hello, pile number 2. Welcome to your reading. So today from the water, you've actually chosen the fire card with passionate creation, travel, and courage. So this one was an interesting one. It's completely unexpected to come out when we're talking about water. But it was interesting because I was talking about the dynamic of water and fire in my stream on Twitch. And here we are. We're at a moment where we're talking about fire from a water element type energy. So we'll put that here and we'll get some cards for you. But what an interesting card to come out. I feel like this will be out of the box, let's say. And what I mean by that is it won't follow a, like maybe you don't follow a particular road, right? So like you might have, this is just an example, you might have been brought up in a very religious family, but you were the one that wasn't, or you were the one that went on a different kind of journey, a different spiritual path, let's say, compared to others, friends, family, something like that. You might have followed along with the crowd at once, but this is like following the beat of your own drum at some stage. Okay, yes. So they're wonky, just straighten them up. Okay, so we've got the Animalkin Oracle. This is the Sea, Sacred Sea Oracle, and here what I'm shuffling now is the Water Temple. So I wanted a very, very clear element kind of theme. Although we have fire, right? Okay, let's get you some tarot cards. I'm going to read these all upright, no matter what way they come through, unless there's something that needs to be said. And of course, I will let you know. Okay, very good. All right, let's take a look at your cards today and your message from the oceans, the seas, the waters, the rivers, the lakes. The element of water. Ooh, you have cat with mystery. Yeah, this is you. This feels like you in a sense. You're out of the box. You're different, let's say, to maybe you don't like fully different, right? You might follow the group or family, that kind of thing. But there's something within you that's, I mean, this is kind of like for everyone in my eyes. Everyone has something unique, but yours is more off base, let's say, like black sheep of the family kind of thing. There's something here with this cat with mystery. It's like you have something unique, and if you were supposed to be, you know, one of the flock, let's say, then you would have been. There's a reason and a rhyme and a purpose to you starting to think outside the square you live in, or outside of the past of who you were. There's a purpose to this. There's a reason for this. A very good reason with fire coming through. It's almost contradictory to yourself even sometimes. And that's okay. There's a purpose to that. Maybe you're meant to blend those elements within you. Maybe you're supposed to keep them separate and utilize them in different ways, because we can have two different aspects of ourselves, right? Let's say with masculine and feminine energy. If we're like working and also a parent, sometimes when we come home, we're in our more feminine, nurturing energy. And when we're at work, we're more in our masculine energy. It doesn't matter what gender we are. It's more about, you know, utilizing those two. And maybe that's part of you as well. That's coming through here. It's to be the best of who we are. We don't have to be specifically this or that all the time. Okay, I'll try not to interrupt. I'll try to get through all the cards and then we'll have a look. So you have Sacred Burial Temple, Embrace Transition. Right, kind of similar to a death card. You have the Coral Reef Sea Queen, even got some more red here. Environmental Awareness, interesting. You also have the Goddess Kopakati with Rebirth, I am reborn. Yes, we already talked about the death here. So there is this like transition to a renewal, refresh, like the phoenix, but we're coming out of the, maybe it's like a new emotional self. Okay, I'll try not to. Can't help it sometimes. So you also have the Water Temple with Devotion. I bow to the sacred waters of life. Yes. With this like environmental awareness. Sometimes I'm not just talking about environment as in the earth and the world. There's, yes, that part of it, but also you and your connection with the elements, your fire within, your water within, the earth around you, you know, the air around you, all that kind of stuff, within, without, all of it. Okay, interesting. You also have the Ace of Cups. I mean, how water can you get? And the Three of Pentacles. This feels really, really positive. It's almost like an awakening to understanding who you are on a particular level. And it wasn't something that you had to find outside of yourself. You just had to discover it from within. Yeah, you're going to be on an interesting path, pile number 2. You have the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, it's very smart. And you have the Fool 2.0. So this deck has 2 Fools in it. So very interesting with the 2.0, just because it feels like the Fool card. However, it feels like maybe another run at something, or another way of thinking about something. Or you've tried something, it didn't necessarily work, but you still learned something, right? Whatever we do, we don't just do it, and whether it was worth it is how we perceive success or failure. Some people might see, I'm able to help like 20 people, therefore it's a success. Some people might think, well, if I don't help 100 people, then what am I doing? Or 1,000 people watch my YouTube clip or something like that, then I'm not successful. It's like, no, it's up to you, yes, and how you perceive it. But maybe there's a different way of looking at this, of what you're doing, or maybe a different way of doing it. Maybe there's something you're thinking of that you're unsure of. I feel like this is for for the last pile as well, it's very much like starting something. This time, instead of last time, it was the Ace. If you're going back to pile 1, have a look if you want to. But they got the Ace of Pentacles, you're getting the Ace of Cups, so it does feel like this new beginning. I feel like it's almost in the same position too, maybe. I can't remember. But anyway, the Ace of Cups is generally about a new connection, a new love maybe. Starting to wash away the past. And you've got fire with creation. You're given the okay to start creating this life that is unique by you. It's kind of reminding me of, how people will, on Shorts or YouTube or whatever, will start painting their walls in like different colors, right? Wild colors maybe. And people will be like, well, that's going to ruin your resale value. This is not going to be good for you, That won't help when you want to sell the house. And it's like, if you're living in a house and painting it and doing things based off what you think someone else in the future might want, then it's not really your house, is it? You're making it, creating it, doing it in a way that serves someone else that doesn't even exist in that moment. They don't exist. They're not there. They're not living. They literally might never exist. You might live there forever, or whatever. So you may as, and then even the person said, I would never want to live in a house where I am not creating it for myself. And that was really I was like, exactly, that's exactly it. You want to do this life, you want to do this kind of like work or this hobby or whatever you're wanting to begin, this relationship in a way that not just suits you if it's a relationship or work, right? You're working together with the people that you can envision the dream or the future with. But you're doing it in a way that's definitely planned, definitely comes from learning. There's no rush. It's just like, what do I actually enjoy doing, that I enjoy putting and dedicating time to, that I don't mind putting effort into? It's easy to, turn on the TV and just watch that. That's easy. But what is the thing that feels that kind of ease, but is actually doing something? Like, is it going on dates? Is it going out and, walking through nature or something like that? Going down to the river, the beaches, that kind of stuff. We are getting a message from the water. So it's like, dedicate your time and energy to the things that give you life, really. But we're talking about a transition, a change, something ending, things ending so you can start beginning. Like, very clearly, these two feel like, you're reborn. These are beginning cards, the Fool and the Ace of Cups. It's like a new start in some sense. Maybe it is travel. Maybe it's just like a holiday or something like that. That's self-care. That's self-care. It's interesting that we have environmental awareness, because this is like your own internal world, because we all have like an ecosystem within ourselves. That's how I kind of look at it sometimes. I think that's a good way of seeing things. It's like, how do I feel overall? Okay, so what part of myself is like feels out, that kind of thing? Do I need to get a massage? Do I need to get some more sleep, whatever that is. Take a look at your environment. If you've stayed up all night worrying about what someone said to you or thought about you, then that's a time to understand that that's their issue. Is there something I can control? Can I control how people think about me? No. Do you think Beyonce worries about how people think about her, or a politician or something like that? Probably in some sense, right? But if they worried about every single person, they'd never sleep. They'd never get anything done because they'd be worrying about what others think. And eventually you just have to get to the point where it just doesn't matter too much. And that's why you're being called back to this card to like let that out in some sense. Let parts of you show all aspects of you instead of like the masks, I want to say. Because you're literally fire in water. Like you can't stay contained forever healthily. You're meant to burn through, or you're not meant to burn like destroy, but just you're meant to leave a mark, or leave like be seen, be the kind of like fire in a sense. Even if it is a cold or a icy or dark environment, right? It helps. I feel like you'll probably help even when you don't know you're helping people, just by being yourself, which is always helpful. It's just hard to see because we don't always get the like recognition in a sense. But that's okay. You'll see the signs. You'll know when to jump. This little feather is like, okay, it's very clear. I need to take that leap of faith, let's say. And maybe making some kind of shifts and changes. Maybe that's even on dietary, or just being more mindful of what kind of clothes you're wearing, where they're made. Fair trade kind of options when it comes to buying certain jewelry or things like that. So starting to really just think about it instead of being like, oh, I want this. Why do I want this? Where does it come from? Who's getting the money from this? That kind of thing. It's just stopping. I feel like it's just the time to start thinking about some of that stuff as well, for some of you. Okay. I feel like, again, coming back to here, the embrace transition, it is hard. Like even in this card, you can see the challenges and the different options are like what ifs, I feel. But you're here now. You're surrounded by the people you're surrounded by now. Your life is the way it is now. What do you want to improve? What do you want to retain? What do you want to change? That kind of thing. It's an interesting time. It feels like a really good time to begin being you, or begin being you in the way that feels right to you. Because even the element of water here just feels very... The devotion feels very true. Like it's not just devoting to something that you're told is correct. It's something that feels correct. It feels right to you. Maybe a new spiritual practice, adding that in. Maybe even looking at other spiritual practices. It's like, oh no, I do this because my family are from here, or like, people talk about, oh, but like I can't do that because I'm 6th generation Russian or something like that, or Italian. And it's like, what does that have to do with anything right now? Like, just really think about it. That's all. All these other like excuses, which sound kind of cute at the time, it feels like this is a time to kind of move beyond that. You don't have to disrespect the past to get further, but you don't have to let the past hold you back either. Okay, I think we're done here. The mountains in the background are really shining here. I don't know why. I have no clue why. But it's like a breathtaking view that's around you. So just ensure that you keep it, or maintain it, or just like encourage it to be there. That's how that's really feeling. Anyway, thank you so much for letting me read for you today. If you have any questions, feel free to comment. Otherwise, take care of yourself, and I'll see you next time. Hello, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading today. So you've chosen Citrine with wealth, enhanced career prospects, self-esteem, and manifestation. So I will say this, while I was shuffling the cards, because between each reading, because I'm using the same decks, I like shuffle them with the energy of the particular crystal that's been chosen, or the element in this particular Pickacard, because the fire came through. Did you forgot this card? Yeah, so I just want to say, that's what I was going to say. I almost got myself off topic. But the devil card flipped out. And so I feel like this is starting to get out of something, get out of a situation and start to it doesn't have to be just career prospects. It could be just certain things in your life becoming more, or heading in the right direction, starting to if you want to, leave something to get to somewhere else. That's kind of as basic as I can put it. It's like, this is making me unhappy. It might be giving me some stuff, like you might be giving you good money, right? Great money. Or it might be giving you not enough money. Or it might be giving you like a lot of time with family and stuff, but now it's time to add something else to that. Add something for you. So it's not like anything bad. Like, it doesn't mean the job's bad or the family's bad, right? It's not that. It's not like black and white. It's mixed, it feels. Okay. So a message from Waters. Okay. I'm just going to place them down already. Okay. I thought it was that card because it popped up, and then I was like, didn't take it, and then it popped up again. So I was like, okay. Sometimes that happens. They're like, hey, we're popping up for a reason. And I'm like, whoops. Okay, nicely done. And your tarot cards. The Devil card also flipped out. Oops. The Devil card also flipped out reverse as well, which was just really interesting. So hopefully that's not a place you're in now. Maybe it was a place in the past. I want to take this one too. Don't have space, but I just want to make sure. Okay, so I'll straighten all this up so it's not as wonky as it looks. Okay. All right, let's start your reading today. So pile 3, your first card is the Manta Ray with presence. I love that. Very ocean, right? Very watery. Presence. It's almost like showing up for yourself. That's kind of like how the presence is feeling. It's being there for yourself. Also questioning, what is wealth to me? Okay, so you have the Akashic Gaia Gateway, deepen self-knowledge. That's what I mean, like showing up for yourself is like understanding who you are. The deepening is because you know who you are in your family, you know who you are maybe in work, that kind of thing, but who are you in you? Do you know what I mean? It's like real deep. Akashic kind of feels like the Akashic records as well. And the Gaia, obviously Earth, gateway, it's like, you know, a channel through. So it's like a portal to you. You know, it's almost like that song, I've never been to paradise. I've been to paradise, but I've never been to me. So it's like that understanding, who am I? I can go to like beautiful places out in the world, and that's really great. But who am I as like an emotional being, or as a human being? So we came here to have a human experience. We came here to like, yes, enjoy the physical, but actually understand ourselves more intricately as this being, avatar that we are. Okay, I'll try not to interrupt myself, but I just can't help it today. So you've also got the Sacred Fish Spirit with surrender to simplicity. Yes, this doesn't have to be complicated. Ooh, okay. You've got God Avarakocha. Hopefully I pronounced that. If not, sorry. But this is creation. My potential is infinite. Yeah, everyone's only limited by what they decide their limits are. So if I say I'm limited by this because in the past that didn't work, therefore that will never work for me ever, then that's a truth I've decided to create for myself. If I say I can't do this because I'm this religion, or I'm this nationality, or my parents came from this country, therefore I can't do that. That's a limit you put on yourself. Some of those limits, absolutely fine if you are happy with those, but just take a look at them. It's not a crime to review something, like to review ourselves within and how we really feel about it. It's okay to do that. We're not judging. Try not to, as much as you can. You know, we're human, we're crazy, but try not to judge yourselves as harshly. That's all I really want to say with that. Okay. Oh wow, so this came out in pile 2 as well. You have Goddess Kopakati with Rebirth, I Am Reborn. Yeah, everyone's whew. I feel like the collective, just in the last couple of, like, maybe in the last 2 weeks, after the full moon, and then we've had the new moon, and also some people got to see the eclipse too. It kind of cut through America and South America. So hopefully if you did see it, you enjoyed it. But yeah, it does feel like this creation and rebirth, this is like a new, it's almost like it's coming out of you. The lightning isn't actually from the thunder, it's from you. It's from the spark within you. It's like understanding, oh, I'm the, like, you know, I don't want to feel this like ego, but more like, oh, I'm God, right? I'm the God within. The God's within me kind of thing. I have the power of God. Let's say if you know, whatever you believe, I have the power of the universe, I have the power of God, whatever, or whatever deity you kind of believe in. That's okay. It's all like, I'm the source of this, so I can actually utilize this energy that's all around me and create what I feel is right for me, physically and also, you know, emotionally, spiritually, internally. Okay, I'm just going to push you to the side for now. So you have the Knight of Pentacles coming through and the Moon. You also have the Page of Swords and the Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, I was thinking, is there a lot of people involved? I don't know if these are like aspects of you or if this is like people. Let's see. Yeah, 9 of Wands. Okay, interesting. Yeah, it's been a journey, right? It's been a journey of understanding who we are. The manifestation is kind of popping too with the God that's come through as well. Of understanding what is really going to bring you wealth. Also understanding, what is wealth to me? What does wealth mean? We're kind of taught a lot, especially in the West, that wealth is money and possessions, and the more things you have, the happier you will be. But that's not true. It just doesn't work like that. It can bring happiness, right? Especially if it's like comparing to someone that can't afford certain like basics in life, things that help us sustain, you know, being alive, then obviously. But it feels more deeper than that. Sorry, my music just stopped. I'm just going to put something on. Okay, sorry about that. Just wanted, I have like a certain vibe. I think I had it on 741 hertz, which is, I don't know, it just feels really cleansing. It feels like almost physically cleansing in a sense. So maybe that's what you've been through. You've been through some kind of cleanse, some kind of shift, and now you're understanding more aspects of yourself. There's no rush to this. Don't be afraid to challenge certain rules and regulations within yourself as well to make what you want. I don't think you have to, like, you know, decide to start a new journey in life. Like, you don't have to start a new job or anything like that. You're more like self-discovery, like discovering self. And this rebirth or reborn or kind of like phoenix flame coming back to life does feel like it's going to take, it's not going to take time. It's more like it's going to be a thing that reoccurs over and over. And sometimes it turns out that may be not the right rebirth, right? So you go through a different rebirth, and it's okay. Once you've gone through one thing, the next few things are much easier. Once you've taken the first step towards a goal, the rest of the steps kind of just create themselves because you've taken that initial cross over the line. Do you know what I mean? That's kind of how it's feeling. But I love deep in self-knowledge. You're not here to know exactly what you, like if someone asked you and you didn't know, That's not a bad thing. It's just you're still discovering certain aspects of self. It takes time, and certain things you've gone through will help and hinder, right? Depending on what label we add to that. Did it come from certain people and different things? Because the Page of Swords is fickle. She's kind of fickle, and I mean, I say she just because she's in heels and dress, but like, I mean, she's a hummingbird, but she can be kind of tricky energy. And then if you have these two pentacles here, they can be kind of slow moving, right? I mean, the Queen of Pentacles is lovely and nourishing and nurturing and caring, but also is very fixed in a way too, with this like earthly energy. So maybe we need to get out of our what's going to bring us happiness physically and start challenging our mind. Does our mind pull us into different directions? Are there a lot of people around that have certain things about them that make them them and are trying to push that onto you, or not even trying to push it, you're just taking it and being like, oh, this is how I should probably build my life. This person is successful. I watch their, I don't know, YouTube or something like that. Therefore, if I embody that, then I'll be successful. You got to be you, essentially. Got to be you. Okay. This doesn't have to be a huge change. Like I said, you're not really rediscovering anything crazy. You might not even be starting something new. You might be just going through the shift and the changes that you want to see within yourself. But you don't have to start doing anything. You just have to start understanding. I think this is more about understanding your space, your inner world, your like relationship with certain brands and people. That might be shifting. That's okay. It's not about keeping things the same forever, because nothing stays the same forever. Nothing ever will stay the same, especially in the 3D world. It just doesn't. We don't even stay the same, right? We change as well. We're not even permanent. We're here temporarily. Everything is like literally everything is temporary. Even the sun, which will be around for a lot longer, but it's temporary. It's not going to be always there. The sun will eventually turn into a red dwarf, I think they're called, and then eventually go supernova. So nothing stays the same, and that's okay. We're just here for the ride, let's say, but we're also participating and creating within it. Now, if it is talking about career, because it's talking about enhanced career prospects, this does look good. You just kind of have to do things in a way that's right for you. That's also going to, give you that boost. This is like a boost. It's like a shot of adrenaline almost. It's like saying, okay, here's your dose. Go forward with that idea that you have. Don't be afraid of the naysayers, let's say, or just the other people around that might be like, it's safer to do this. If I listened to some friends and that kind of thing before I moved to Australia, because they were like, you're better off here. You have a job. You have this. I needed to get out of there. I need to get out of the country. There was nowhere in New Zealand I felt like living. This is just an example. Obviously, I'm not just trying to talk about me, but it's like I had no idea where I was. I knew where I was going to go. I kind of came here, had like a holiday just to visit around. I knew a holiday is a holiday, not like actual living, but I just wanted to see, and I enjoyed it. And then I moved here, and you know what? I don't regret it. I've been here now, I think this month, actually. At the end of this month, I've been here 10 years. I think I left it like just around Halloween, just before Halloween. Anyway, it's interesting. Just random blah, blah, blah. But I did it. It worked out, that kind of thing. And here I am. And here I am reading cards. Who knows what I would have been doing if I didn't do that. So it's like you don't have to be afraid to do something as well. There's always going to be certain restrictions depending on your situation in life, but that doesn't mean everything in your life is already fixed. Unless you believe that. It's literally like, do you believe that? And you say yes, then that's true. Do you believe that? No. Then it's not true, right? Then you don't have to live within the constraints of whatever's been told to you or whatever you've decided in your mind is true. You're here to learn and show up for yourself. Like showing up really feels true. Self-honoring. working with people or an environment that makes sense and feels right to you, doing hobbies and things that feel good and fun for you, regardless of what other people think. You know, if that's playing a game that might be designed for like younger people, I don't know, like a video game or something like that, but you enjoy it, who cares? Who cares what other people think? You know what I mean? You're having fun, you're enjoying it, do it. I mean, if I was like when I was younger, stuck to not playing video games, right? If I was like, oh, you're getting to an age where this is too much, you don't need to do that anymore. Then I would have just stopped doing that and followed whatever that person was doing. You know, it's different now. Now video games, pretty much everyone kind of plays at some point because you know they introduce apps and that kind of stuff. So anyway, getting off topic a little bit. This is about you, for you, understanding what wealth means in your life to you. It's all about you and understanding yourself, and not in an ego way and not in a selfish way. It's just self-honoring. This is all self-honoring. Maybe even facing some stuff within that you want to get rid of now, or that you've held as like canon, and now it's like not canon anymore because it's like, actually, that's not true. Who knows? It's okay to review and look. You don't have to buy into it just because I'm saying it. That's literally the whole point of this. You're doing you, and if you're already living you, you do you, boo. Okay. Well, that's exactly what I see for you today, pile number 3. Really interesting message from the element of water. I feel like water was getting spicy in a sense today, but also really, really encouraging. Really, really encouraging. So anyway, thank you so much for being here. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next reading.